Greetings, Sir Shrimpington here. Today, we're going to be exploring Aegis Keep in the first episode of our Dungeon Exploration series. Now, when I first started out in Outlands, one of the things I was scared of, concerned of, was entering new dungeons, seeing a new enemy, and not understanding what the enemy was going to do if I went near it. So in this series, I plan to cover every single dungeon to help you in your travels to new and exciting places. Welcome to Sir Shrimpington's Dungeon Exploration series, Aegis Keep. Here we go. Oh, Aegis Keep, is it? How fancy. Look at the architecture, Rodney. Simply marvellous. What do you mean, bleeding? Wait, why am I bleeding? It won't stop. Rodney, help me! Aegis Keep. The theme of Aegis Keep is taking the blood that should be on the inside of your body and putting it on the outside of your body. Most of the monsters in here apply bleed effects, so be sure to have your buff-debuff hotbar up and pay attention to this symbol, which shows if you have been affected by a bleed. Seriously, the damage from bleed effects is a new player killer, so pay attention. Due to the sharp 90-degree corners in this dungeon, it's great for backstabbers to run away and hide. I spent many hours in this dungeon when I first started in Outlands, and it still feels like home. Alright, Aegis Keep can be found just north of Horseshoe Bay. We'll start with level 1 and go down through each level, talking through what we can find there. Entering the dungeon, we can see a lovely pile of skulls. Oh yes, this bodes very well. The first enemy here is a gremlin. Don't feed these after midnight. The gremlins have a ranged attack that they will throw at you. You can avoid this, but if it hits you, then you will be afflicted with a defense and accuracy reduction. Moving further inside, we can find Aegis Mongbats and effigies. These enemies are quite easy to deal with, as they will just stand there slapping you. Here we also have Aegis Rats. These are identical to the rats you find in the new player dungeon, so watch out for that disease effect. Deeper in, we can find kobolds, goblins, and wolfhounds. The goblins aren't interesting and will just slap you, but the kobolds will throw these firebombs at you for a chunk of damage, so watch out. Wolfhounds will charge at you from across the room, so be careful if you take aggro from these. Next up, we have the big boy himself, Chaos Footman. These enemies will do an AoE slice attack around themselves, so be careful if someone else is fighting one nearby. You might take some damage. Here we have Aegis Slimes, Imps, and Minions. The Slimes are rudimentary, but they will regenerate their own health. The Imps and Minions will cast magic at you from afar, so if you don't have resisting spells leveled up, these enemies may hit you quite hard. Watch out for the explosion spell, which has a delay on going off. I would recommend keeping yourself topped up on health, or you might end up like me. The final enemy on this floor is the Blood Ape. This guy packs a wallop, and is our first enemy that will apply a bleed effect. As you can see, once we have a bleed on us, our health can go down incredibly quickly, so make sure you're prepared. Lastly, as we head towards level 2, I want to warn you about the Room of Imminent Death. This room is full of monsters that cast spells on you, sure, But also, as players run through the dungeon to get to level 2, they will drag all of these blood apes inside of the room. This means that they can block your way through, bleed you, cast spells on you, and will melt you alive. Pay attention to what's in this room before you go barging through. Moving on to level 2, we have my favourite place to level your backstabber. These small, interconnected rooms have a mix of low health and high health enemies for you to play with. Note that a lot of the enemies here are red. As a rule of thumb, from here on out, if it's red, it will give you a bleed effect. Blood Hellions will give themselves an attack speed buff as they run at you, spooky. Here we also have Blood Trolls, who will heal themselves, Blood Orcs, who are the lowest health enemies around, great for beginners to level 2, and Blood Harpies. These friendly, female flying fucks will use an AoE feather attack on you that will hit hard. Don't be surprised when these femme fatales invite you to their nest, only to leave you heartbroken and bleeding. Next up is this small room with an Aegis whelp and blood drakes. The whelp is nothing fancy, but he will run at you quite fast. The drakes, on the other hand, can cause a bleed with their basic attack and with this large AoE cone that they throw at you. Be sure to walk around this guy in a circle to avoid the attack. Moving further in, we have this Blood Ogre Mage. The first thing he will do on aggro is buff himself, so this does give you some time to run away if you aggro him by accident. As his name suggests, he will throw spells at you as you run with your tail tucked firmly between your legs. No, Ogre-senpai, I didn't mean to dishonor you. Watch out for this guy. The clay man will throw an AoE splatter of what I hope is clay at you. This will hinder you to prevent movement for a few seconds. This can be devastating if you have multiple mobs aggroed on you. Further in, we have blood rats and coagulators. These are standard slap you enemies, but as they're red, I'll give you one guess what effect they apply to you. Moving up this hallway, we can see an Aegis Scorpion and Asp. These will apply poison effects, so make sure you've got some cure potions handy. There is also an entombed enemy here. He will give you the disease effect, which will stack with both poison and bleed effects. Do try not to get hit with all three of these at once, as you may start melting before our very eyes. The Aegis Lich here is a standard magic casting enemy, so he will hit you at range. I saw this friendly-looking Aegis noble whilst looking around, but I don't think he was interested in being friends. Oh, noble Aegis man, please accept my friendship. Walking further back, we can see that this room leads back to the Blood Drake room from earlier. Neat. Here, this is an Aegis cultist. This guy will just stand there throwing splashy white liquid at you. Further back, we start coming into the enemies of level 2 that are really going to be a threat to new players. Do not come to the back of this room until you're ready. Here we have Skulkers and Twilight Guardians. Skulkers will turn invisible and perform a backstab on you. This can also leave you with a disease effect. The Twilight Guardians will cast a cacophony of spells at you, and they will hit hard. As you can see, running is not guaranteed to get you away to safety. Oh dear. This small room contains our portal that you can use to teleport out of the dungeon, as long as you have not attacked another player. This room is full of enemies. Note the Aegis Leech. This is certainly not a misnomer. The bleed from this leech is no joke. Going back to this Aegis Knight, we can see that he will use a charge attack similar to the wolfhounds from earlier. Even though he is quite fast on his little horsey, I find that kiting these enemies is actually quite easy. Run fast, horsey, you can do it! Here we can see a blood cyclops and a blood wolf. The cyclops is a big boy with lots of health, and will give himself a damage bonus. The blood wolf will again use a charge attack, and he will also bleed you dry, so be careful of how quickly he can get you down. Before we head down the stairs, we will find a Chaos Warrior. He will simply slap you with his big, sharp weapon, lowering our defense, applying a bleed, and generally trying to murder us. Now, this staircase leads us down to this little area, which is still level 2, and we can see that there are simply a bunch of different enemies here to farm. It also leads back to those Aegis Knights from earlier. Neat! One last thing on level 2 is this hidden room containing a blood sorcerer and a lesser blood demon. Both of these enemies are basically from level 3 and will cast a plethora of spells on you, so maybe don't head into here just yet. On to level 3, the first enemies we will see are a Malform and a blood scorpion. Hello, Mr. Malform. Lovely. Yes, this new friend will spit his dinner up at us as a greeting. It can hit from quite a range too. This scorpion is a bigger, badder version of the scorpion we saw earlier. This guy can and will apply a bleed and poison effect on you simultaneously. Here we can also find blood serpents. These will poison you and generally slither into your shoes. Next up is a blood ravager. Now, when I first saw this big, hulking, raging monstrosity, I was terrified. But actually, all he really does is slap you, so you know, looks can be deceiving. This blood elemental will cast spicy magery on us. It will hit quite hard too. Now, this little cross-section contains a serpent, a bloodworm, a feaster, and a fiend. The fiend is quite spooky and will hit fast with bleed effects. The ravager and bloodworm are similar, but hit a little bit slower. This is a nice little spot for backstabbing too, as you can easily aggro one of these enemies at a time and run to hide. I said run to hide. Yes, there we go. Here we also have blood hunters and chaos knights. The hunters are fast, melee creatures, and the knights will lower your defense and use an AoE circle attack that will continually damage you if you stay standing in it, so be sure to move away. Here is a blood demon. This is a stronger version of the lesser demon we saw earlier. Lots of magic and all that. Moving on, we have a secret passageway through here. Oh yes, very fancy. This leads to the blood demon room of impending doom, so maybe move through here a little quickly. These sewers lead to all sorts of places on level 3, but are filled with monsters. Coming out here leads us to some blood dragons, simply stronger versions of the drakes from level 2. If we run up this hallway, we can find our portal to get the hell out of Dodge if we need to leave the dungeon. The final enemy on this floor is the doppelganger. This guy will... Hey, he's rather handsome, isn't he? Well, this guy will transform into the player that attacked him. So if you see a grey named player on this floor, It's probably one of these. They will also take on your abilities, such as spells, so be careful around these tricksy varlets. Let's take a quick look in the boss room, shall we? Oh yes, a rather rude high priestess is waiting in here for us. Yes, I'm talking to you. Stop throwing blood everywhere. It's going to take ages to clean that out of the carpet. Note, you can also access this room from this shiny, shiny treasury that sadly we can't liberate of its spoils. Alright, let's move on to the final floor, level 4. Prior to recording this video, I had never visited this floor, so I must admit that my knowledge here is limited. To be honest, if you're a strong enough player to visit this level, then you probably won't need this guide to help you. But in the name of knowledge, I went around and allowed these lovely creatures to commit beautiful murder on me, so we can see what they do. Oh my, look at this fancy dress. Hello, dress. Ah! Well, I never. A blood curdler. He sounds like a lovely fellow. Oh. Well, this sanguine effigy causes a bleed effect to anyone that goes near him. Sounds just like my ex. Hello, Mr. Dracolisk. Would you care to meet my hammer? Oh shit. Rage demons, they don't sound so bad. Oh no, they're casting spells. Run away. You know what? I hate it here on level 4. I'm leaving. Thanks for watching. If you feel that you learned something new about Aegis Keep, then please do use a bleed effect on your thumb and wipe it on that like button. Maybe you know something about Aegis Keep that I didn't mention in this video. If so, then please do leave a comment to let me know how fucking smart you are. Subscribing is free and appreciated. Anyway, I'm off to grab one of those fancy dresses. I think I saw one of them giving me the eye. Oh yes. Sir Shrimpington, out! But the chart— oh fuck, where am I? Moving further in, we have this blood ogre mage. The first thing he will do— fuck. Walking further back, we can see that this room leads back to the blood— shit. To be honest, if you're strong enough— shitting fuck.